very pleased with the result, obviously. Very tough game. I think you've seen in this is the most tightly contested group of all of AFCON. Any multi-goal victories, you're seeing single-goal victories and draws in all of the games. And so, look, football can be a strange game sometimes. We had on Friday, we probably played a lot better than we did today in terms of ball possession, in terms of all of the statistics. Like I said before, on Friday, it was like 65, 70% of the ball, 22 shots on goal. But in the end, we only got the draw. Today was a lot more. We had to suffer for it today. I thought we defended very well today. I also thought we created the key chances in the game. Our goalkeepers made a great save from the penalty in the first half, but we haven't let our heads drop. It's very easy when you get that chance and you're pushing for it to then, when it doesn't go in, to let your heads drop. But I thought everyone kept going. And then into the second half, obviously Musa comes up well with the goal. Great work from Yankuba. And really we could have had one or two more after that on the break. So, look, it wasn't the prettiest game of football that you've ever seen, but that's the way the game is. Some days you can play beautiful football, and other days you've got to work for it and you've got to grind for it and you've got to take your chances. And that's what we did today. So we're really pleased with the result. It carries us through into the November window with, match day 5 is going to be a big game against Comoros. We know that.
We'll come to that, Coach. But were you surprised by the tactics of Madagascar, the way they came into the game?
Yeah, I thought obviously they pressed a lot higher than they probably did on Friday. On Friday, they were a lot more of a mid to low block, whereas today they pressed a lot higher. And that we made a bit of a tweak tactically as well. I think people saw we started with 2 strikers on the field in Musa and Ali So. So that we didn't have control of the game in the first half. We were doing, again, defensively quite good. We were doing some little nice things. But definitely, I think Madagascar played a lot better today than they did a few days ago. And so we had to deal with that. But like I said, the big chances of the game fell to us. Whilst Madagascar sort of threw some high balls into the area, there wasn't really a case of, I don't remember being on the sidelines thinking, oh, that was really close from them, whereas we had 2 or 3 of those moments. So yeah, they definitely came. They threw everything at it, and we had to defend well for periods of the game. But look, that's football. Everyone loves attacking, flowing football, but you got to remember the other side of the game is equally important, and a clean sheet today is very, very pleasing.
Coach, depending on the outcome of tomorrow's game between Tunisia and Comoros, now it is Tunisia on top with 6 points, Gambia and Comoros on 5 points. What does this mean for the next match against Comoros next month?
Well, look, I think regardless of the result in the other group game tomorrow night, it sort of leads you in knowing that we've got 2 big games, because you can't assume that just because historically Tunisia have been sort of the team that's been there, it doesn't mean they always will. So, Comoros have had a really good result last week. Equally, they could have a good one tomorrow. And then maybe we're talking about the last group game against Tunisia being the big one. But we go into the final window knowing that our fate is in our own hands. It's in our hands what happens next. So if we go and we win, and, all signs are pointing to hopefully that we'll be playing at home finally in the next window. And really, I think the 12th man can be a big, big sort of just incentive for our boys to go and put a top performance on. So we're looking forward to it. It's time for the guys to go back to their clubs, but we'll start planning already. As of, tomorrow, the planning starts for the next 2 games.
The 12 man you mentioned today, the Gambian community that was here really played a key part in this game. How crucial is home support when you are playing at home?
Oh, it's massive. Look, I think when you're playing at home, and especially here on the African continent, when travel is very difficult for international football, playing in front of what is often a partisan home crowd, it's usually 100% of that team's supporters. And so, being able to play in front of that can motivate your players to go further, but it can also maybe even have an intimidating effect on the opposition team. So, we've waited a long time to get back home. I think today, the supporters that were here for the Gambia who live here in Morocco, fantastic. The noise they made, the passion of it, it was fantastic. But we're looking forward to being in front of a full stadium of Gambian supporters, because I think it's not just going to be the 12th man. I think it might be the 13th and 14th man as well.
Is that a hint that we could be going back to Banjul in November?
Look, from what I've been told, there's a strong possibility. So we're just waiting on CAF to give the green light. But for us, that's what we want to be doing. We want that game against Comoros to be at Independence Stadium, and we're just waiting on CAF to give the green light. But we're positive.